Uh, Hi guys. As I said, we'll start at 7:05. Um, am I audible first of all?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. For today, we want to be having a guest. I will be your guest for today. And basically, we are just going to talk about an overview of career. We are just going to I can see someone clapping. So we are just going to talk about career talk. We are going to talk about what is a career. We are going to talk about how to plan your career, the wrong and right questions when you're thinking about your career path. We are going also to talk about the mistakes you can make during your career, because I know personally I have made a few mistakes, and I even from the talk I have had with a few mentors of mine, and even today I was talking to Prof. Judy, and I think she had a lot of insights on just how well you can be able to uh, guide your career. As I've said, the agenda, the discussion topics. First of all, I hope my screen is visible. Okay, sawa. So the discussion topics are, as I've said, what is a career, career planning, how to advance and manage your career. We are going to talk about the skills for the workplace and mistakes people make during their journey. And so just a brief introduction on what a task is, what a job is, what a career is, and what an occupation is. So a task is just the day-to-day activities for your job. It doesn't matter what your job is at this moment, just the day-to-day activities that you do in your job. A job is basically a position you fulfill each day in the step of your career. Like for example, if you want in the next few years to be a manager, how you're going to do what that job that is going to lead to that. A career now is the progression of how you are going to of your jobs, like how your your current job is going to fulfill your occupation. Like now your career, are you a cybersecurity analyst, or are you a nurse, or are you an information a risk officer? So that is now your career. Your occupation is now the area of industry in which you work. So, depending on the industry that you're in, for us in the cybersecurity space, it can be still cybersecurity, but also probably it's consulting, probably it's corporate, probably it's government. So, that's occupation. Uh, that's a basic definition of the four. We are going to talk about career planning. And it is very, very important for you to just have a career plan. Like it's a very it's something that you can't stop. Like even at this point, I know where I want to be in the next, let's say, I have the short term and the long term. So I know where I want to be in the next 2 to 3 years, and I also know where I want to be in the next 5 to 10 years. And so that is just matters career planning. So and it is very cynical in nature, in the sense that, to be honest, where I was 2 years ago and where I am right now and where I want to be in the next 3 years is totally different. Simply because there are a lot of things that change, there are a lot of new dynamics. Like for right now, we've seen a lot of adoption of the cloud. And so as you see right now, we are doing cloud and network. So, when you're thinking about your career, allow yourself to be able to to be dynamic, and also just to change it as it is, not really deviate from it, but probably you might have realized something that has interested you in the past 1 year that didn't interest you before. And based on that, you just need to identify your interests, skills, and goals. Like you need to know what your interests are, your skills are, and what your goals are. And this is very, very important because most of the time we tend to um we tend to just work without knowing what is really interesting us. And once you find that niche, trust you me, the best thing that can ever happen to your career is you just finding that niche. Like, I am good at this, and this is of interest to me, and I want to do this. Like, when you find that niche, go with it. Explore your options, just as I've said. When you're thinking about your career, explore as much as you can, especially when you're this young and you're just at the point of 0 to 1 year or 0 to 2 years. Try as much as you can to blow your mind. The other one is decide on preferences. Like just have a plan on what you prefer. And the last one is make it happen, because truly you cannot have a plan in place and you do not make it happen. And so you just need to tell yourself, stop procrastination. Is it poleni? I can't even say that word. Yeah. So decide, I am going to do this and I am going to do this. Um, and based on that, when you're looking at your career, there are a lot of things you look at. You look at your motivation, you look at your education, you look at your strengths and weaknesses, you look at your qualifications, or even, let's say you want to be a CISO in the next 10 years. You can start looking at even what right now are the qualifications for CISO, and you work towards that. So that is basically career planning. Steps to choosing a career, as you've said, you assess yourself, look at yourself based on your skills, based on your interests. You also don't want to be in a career that you do not like. Then the other one is, of course, you make a list of occupations, like you can have these or these. Then conduct informational interviews. This means let's say you are interested to become uh a cloud and network expert, and you know Jaylene, you can reach out to Jaylene and ask her about the industry. That's Jaylene Kiri from Microsoft. The other one, make your career choice. At this point, decide, this is what I'm going to do. Identify your goals, then later, as I've said, you cannot do it unless you have an action plan and you work on it. uh Let's go to the wrong questions when you're thinking about your career. What jobs are in demand? Sometimes it's the right or the wrong question, depending. What are the most high paying jobs? I think this might be a wrong also and question to just think about. What jobs can I do abroad? What jobs require minimal effort for higher salary? What jobs have the shortest hours? Which career can get me promoted faster? What jobs are expanding quickly? They are good, but they are also wrong questions when you're thinking about yourself as a person. The right questions you need to think about is, what will make me happy? What am I passionate about? What do I dream of doing? And what do I really want to do? And I know, yes, we are in a, and everyone doesn't want money. Even me, I want money. But all I'm trying to say is, especially when you're thinking about your career, what makes you happy is something that is going to really be of value to you, because at the end of the day, you do not want Monday to reach and you dread to go to the office. That is the last thing that you would want to happen to you. What am I passionate about? People are passionate about different things. Everyone is passionate about whatever thing they are. Some people are passionate about web design. Some of you are passionate about even in cybersecurity. There are those of you who want to be an analyst. There are those of you who want to do advisory. There are those of you who want to do risk. There are those of you who really want to do forensics. So you think about what you're passionate about. What do I dream of doing? That should be one of the other things you need to think about. And what do I really want to do? And to be honest, when you get to answer these four questions, it's going to change your life. As much as, yes, we want careers that have the most money. Everyone wants the most money. Everyone wants to be promoted tomorrow to manager. No one wants to be a slave forever. So, but when you think about all of these, it will help you. It is more of a long term, because at the end of the day, even by the time you reach manager, you'll be a happy manager. You'll be doing something that you're passionate about. You'll be waking up in the morning and you are very, very excited about your workplace. Uh, the other thing is how to advance and manage your career. And this, I think, is very, very important, especially for you, most of us here who are probably at the point of looking for jobs. I know you want money, but the other way in which you can advance and manage your career actually is just through internship. There are a lot of internship opportunities out there. I think the whole of last week we've seen a EY, uh, Ernest and Young wanting internship opportunities. I think I saw one for the PwC or KPMG. I'm not so sure, but I also saw Safaricom. So these are some of the ways I know an internship, and also the government. I think there are those 9 months, 6 months, that digital program under ACT Authority. So those are some of the ways in which you can advance your career, because at the end of the day, yes, you do want you most likely want a job, a permanent job, but some jobs would also require the experience, and most internships would probably not require the experience. So this would be the best way for you to go and just see the and do it, and also just gain the skills that you require. Another is to volunteer. There are so many ways in which you can volunteer. You can be a member of ISACA and volunteer in some of their projects. You can even by the even in Cyber Shujaa, you can volunteer in other ways. You can come and talk during these Friday sessions. So there are so many ways in which you can volunteer, and I think beginning next year, next in the next 3 or 4 months to come, we'll see ways in which you can include Cyber Shujaa people to just volunteer. Part-time jobs, as I've said, everyone wants a full-time employment, but at this point, those are some of the ways also you can gain an experience. 3 months here, 3 months there, 2 months here, 1 month here makes a year. And so you can be able to showcase and to even just build your skills. In America, most kids would probably start working at 16. And it does not matter if they're working at a restaurant or at a nail bar, but it's just a way. You see, the job environment has a whole way of a lot of skills, and that's what we'll get to talk about, just skills in the workplace. Because yes, you can be right now, of course, you've done computer science or you've done IT, and you know where you're aligned. But even if you have those short experiences, you are in a much better place. Even though your way of thinking, to be honest, is much different than someone who has never done work before. um the other one now we are going to talk about is skills for the workplace. And this is very, very important. There are two skills that are in the workplace. The first one is learnable. And when we talk about learnable is Of course, probably in every role, even right now, if I'm to switch to go to another role, there'll be the things that I need to learn, or the training that I need to just do to be able for me to improve on what I have. Because at the end of the day, um, even when you're being promoted or anything, probably it's something that you've not done before, or probably there is one or two aspects that you need to acquire. And the second one is transferable. Transferable are just those the many things that you can do in one job that can be used in the other jobs. Transferable skills are as easy as even communication skills. That's a transferable skill. That's why I said someone who has worked from from the age of 16, and someone who is looking for employment now, they have those transferable skills. Probably computer skills, presentation skills. There are those skills that you can do in every job that you have. um the other ones is just basic skills at work. Of course, you want to be able to listen. You don't want to be the kind of person who at work you don't listen. To speak, of course, most of you do that. Read and write. Like, you need to know just the basic read, write. And even you've seen, even when you're applying for jobs, you've seen, especially for international jobs, you'll see they'll ask you what is your fluency in matters of languages, probably in English. How well do you speak it? How well do you write it? And depending on that. And the other one is people skills or soft skills. This one is very, very important. And that is why we usually have the soft skill sessions every single Friday, because at the end of the day, this just teaches you the other technical skills that are not taught on a day-to-day basis. So basically, how to negotiate, probably if you are in a role where you need to present, even if you're in a role where you need to showcase to your boss uh a report. You need to be able to uh negotiate, persuade, coordinate with the workers, and also to work well with people. Working well with people is very, very important in the workplace, to be honest. You don't want to be the kind of person who uh their people skills is just off. um then the other one is management skills, and this one I think you get to know as you grow, even like keeping track of time. In case of a meeting, are you will you arrive at the right time? And money, if you're accountable for it. And also just your organization skills, like to be able to organize yourself from morning to evening, based on even the activities that you've been given on a day to day. Then the other one now is technical skills. Now this is where Prof. Paula comes in, where she's teaching you now on the technical skills that you require. Probably you realized in campus you weren't taught more what is being taught right now, and you decided, yes, I'm going for Cyber Shujaa and to get the technical skills. So those are some of the skills, but also in the workplace now, there would be others that you'll need to learn. Of course, probably right now you are just doing hack the box. Now in the workplace, you may need to know how to operate the SIM. You might need to know how to just now basic technical now on the level of being now technical. Um, the main thing now we are going to talk about, and I think the others were just introduction, but the main thing we are going to talk about today is mistakes people make in their career journey. And this is very, very important, so that um so that you can learn. My sister usually says that the best thing that can happen, she doesn't want to be she doesn't want to learn for herself already. When she's seen something has not worked for someone, she'll take it as she goes. So this is very, very important, and these are some of the mistakes that you can make. The first one, of course, as we've talked about, is having no plan in place. Okay, right now you're in cyber Shujaa, you're just there, you're just moving. You're like you don't know what you want to do, you don't know what you like, you don't know in the next 3 years where you want to be. You have not even researched some of even organizations that are within your role. Yani you're just there. And this is very this is one of the biggest mistakes, because as you've seen on that picture that I put there, your life can't go according to plan if you have no plan. Like, you need to have a plan. Like, a plan can be as easy as, next year I want this and this. And plans are very, very important. That's why we are usually very excited. I don't know if it's me. At the beginning of the year, you feel like you've been given a new leaf. It's so funny, and yet it's just a difference between a day. But you feel like you've been given a new chapter, a new leaf for you to just make your plans. And so, even in your career journey, you need to have a plan, and this can include short-term plans. Short-term plans can be to finish Cyber Shujaa, just to finish, because most of us, most of you don't even finish Cyber Shujaa. To be honest, that can just be your plan. I'm going to finish Cyber Shujaa. A short-term plan can be, I'm going to apply for all the free courses that I see and just do them. I have no job at this point, but you know what? I'm going to do that. Or a short term can be that. A long term can be, in the next 2 years, by the way, I want to have my masters. I want a masters in this or this. Like, like, after some time, you get to align yourself. Like, I think for myself, in the past 3 years ago, I didn't know what masters I wanted to do, and that is why I postponed my masters so much. But I do know what I want to do, and I have told myself, next year, that is what I'm going to work on. Like, for this year, I have other short-term plans that I have, probably with short courses, or what I want to learn, or where I want to align myself towards. So have a plan in place. The second one is abandoning your network. Once you have a job, most people would decide, no, by the way, you know what? I'm going to leave this page, Cyber Shujaa. I'm not going to follow even these groups of Isaka. I am going to leave all those pages. After all, I've already gotten my job. Uh, Wrong mistake. To be honest, do not abandon your network, because and this, I think I realized even last year, for me, networking is very, very important. I think I hadn't seen the value of networking until last year, because at some point the industry is so small, and so opportunities will come for those who network, for those who are in groups. Like, you'll even see groups where people are just at some point in your career, like, you'll see even jobs that you're like, okay, sawa, that are not even advertised anywhere. So do not abandon that network that you have, whether it is Cyber Shujaa, whether it is whatever network. Don't do that. Just ensure that you are able to keep the networks, so that they can so that you can know what is in the industry, and also so that you can improve your skills, because sometimes you can be in your bubble. And by the way, to be honest, when you're at work, you can get to work and you decide you're in your bubble. Let's say you're working for KPLC, we unajua tu stima, yani hiyo tu, yani and people are moving to other things, people are moving. So you really need to see a way in which you can have a network of people, and so that you can know what is happening, what new trends are there, so that even by the time new things are coming up, you are among the first people that are aware of. The other one is to stop development of your skills, and this is a risk, to be honest, because I think, and it happens to a lot of people, especially when you get a job. At times you're like, by the way, you know what? This is my time to focus on other things, and I do understand life is holistic, so you can decide to decide I am going to develop this aspect of my life. I have had years where I have decided, you know what, this year I am not developing my career, I am developing myself, and it can be on other things, but do not cease to do that, to be honest, because at the end of the day, I know probably even on matters development, some trainings can be costly, but also find ways in which you can maneuver, in the workplace. Ask your boss if there is a training budget in place. Ask them, you understand? Have that conversation with your line manager and tell them you need these for your training. Second of all, there are so many other free training opportunities that you can be able to do. So leverage on that. But also, I remember, I think it was Michael, a bully, who came and he told you, and he said, he tries as much as he can to do certifications all the time. So do not stop. By the way, do not stop. I think this is one of the mistakes people make. I think for myself, I think there is a year I have made this mistake. And you can't take it back, by the way. You can't take that year back. So I wouldn't want that for you. The other one is switching jobs without protocol. And I know we are the Gen Z generation. I don't know if it's the Gen Z, that generation. You know, us, we are millennials. So, and we have seen this so much in this generation. And I remember even last year, we went for a conference, just a short boot camp with a few of other implementing partners within now CFYE. And the funniest thing is that everyone kept on saying this generation, by the way, is totally, totally different. They will wake up on Monday and quit and not tell you they have yani no communication, nothing. They will switch off their phones. By the time you call them, they'll tell you, oh, by the way, niniacha kazi, or I'm not working anymore. And you're just like, okay, how does that work? So ensure that you do not switch jobs without following protocol. um just ensure that you have read your new contract. For example, even if it's a 3 month, even if it's an internship, you understand, probably for an internship they might need to have 2 weeks notice. If it's a permanent job, some jobs would want a 1 month notice. Ensure that you just give your employer time to of course, also just you leaving is a surprise to them. No employer wants you to leave. So ensure that you request even from your next employer a later date so that you can and get time to just inform your current employer of your departure, and you just ensure that that transition is well. In the case where you are supposed to hand over, that handover process to be thought thoroughly. You can offer to train someone who is replacing you and ensure that they are able, because I've seen people who leave and come back, and it's true. You can leave your organization, go there for 1 2 years and still come back. And the only reason as to why this can happen is just because you gave them a good transition. You were able to just give them, they use you followed the right protocols when it comes to switching your job. Mm. The other one would be taking a job you're not passionate about. This is very, very vital, because when you take a job that you are not passionate about, whether it's for the money or whether it's for any other reason, you'll tend to first of all hate your job. Then what will happen after that is that you'll now tend to not deliver on your probably your KPIs, your key performance indicators, because you're just done by the, and this is very, very important. And that's why even at this point of exploration for you guys who are here right now, just think about what you're really, really passionate about, because trust you me, this would save you a lot. You might just know what you're passionate about, think about it, and so that even when you're trying to apply for roles, apply to the ones, of course, to the ones that at least tend to follow your passion. Because at the end of the day, when you have, and I remember even when Martin came, I think he talked about this, like he talked about, it's never all about the money, especially with the career. It's a journey. It's never all about the money, because first of all, I can go to a job I'm not passionate about, I get all the money I need, and I'm not delivering, then I'm fired, then I'm back again to square one. So just help, uh, get to know what you're passionate about, even your career path. And also with this, once you have identified, look for even just shadow professionals within your industry. Like I think for me, I follow a few professionals and I just look at even their journey. I look at probably the places they have worked, the associations that they are in. I look at even the certifications that they have. And I think even with that, because trust you me, uh, there is no better way than to copy what someone else has done, to be honest. Yes, there is no better way, by the way, and there is no wrong way also of doing that. The other one is, of course, prioritizing money. Everyone wants money. I want to refuse that. I want money. Everyone in this, everyone, let's not lie to ourselves. We all want money. But at the end of the day, choose also a career that offers you life balance. We've seen scenarios of where you have a job that you and this probably you'll come to experience later. I think for people who are older like myself, I have a daughter, so you can imagine, I have a daughter, I am married, I have siblings. So if you do not have a job that has work life balance, how am I going to ensure that I have time for my daughter or for my family? Like, how am I going to ensure that I do that? So at times, even a job that has flexible working hours can enable you to be able to achieve other aspects of your life. Because if a job is taking away all the time away from you, it means you're not even able to study for anything. You're not, you reach a place where, and I think those of you in the workplace might know, they there is something called burnout, and at times, especially for us consultants, it happens. Like there is a time you're just like, you know what, I cannot look at my laptop anymore, and it happens. But the good thing is for you to be able to create that work balance. Even at work, find ways in which you can work within a team, and also you can, yeah, like and so just prioritize your the work life balance, prioritize your passion, and also flexibility. Like flexibility in the workplace is very, very important. We don't want a situation where you are working 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You don't have time for yourself, you don't have time to eat, you don't take care of your health. Because at the end of the day, if you're not healthy, uh that will mean tomorrow, you won't be able to do that work. And trust you me, your employer won't wait for you. Employers are very, very fast at getting someone else to do the job. The other one is becoming passive. What I mean by this, is at times when you have worked in a company for quite some time. Of course, now, yes, you have gotten the niche of what you want to do, but also sometimes it can get boring. To be honest, it can get boring. And um you'd find yourself really lagging. And so the other way of trying to become proactive in your workplace, of course, now you might reach a point where you would want to get a promotion or get a raise. You understand? Have those conversations with your bosses. I think one of my bosses once told me that let us never let us never stop having the conversation about money, like, or about what you want to do next. Because at times, yes, you can have been a pen tester for 4 years, then all of a sudden you realize, I've done this for quite some time, so I would like to try this other thing. And also, it's just a matter of you being proactive, because already the skills that you have. So find ways in which you can add more on your skills and just advance yourself. Because the truth of the matter is, what happens when you are not able to advance yourself, you start getting frustrated. Even if your workplace is the best place ever, the frustrations come in. The other one is neglecting relationships at work. And I know for most of us, probably, especially for people who are IT, probably you're the nerd person who just loves to be by themselves. I think, or probably you are an introvert, um, per se. So, and it's okay. I think also the most important thing for you, even at this point, is for you. I think everyone should always do the 16 personality test. You can go Google it, by the way, after this, and just take that test for you to know if you're an introvert or an extrovert. That would make you understand yourself better. And so that you find yourself, even as an introvert, find ways in which you can be able to interact with your friends at work, in the find ways in which you can be able to have good communication. You don't want to bring your moods, especially probably the women. So you had a hard day. If someone comes to say hi, you don't want to say hi back. That's your personal problem. Please ensure that you are able to have good relationships at work. Take part in office events if you have them. If you have lunch dates, take part in them. If you have bowling, do that. If you do hiking, do that. If you do football, do that. Just ensure that you are able to take part in these. Um, the other one, and I think even for myself, I've suffered from this before, is the lack of confidence. This one can take a lot from you. By the way, let me tell you, I kila kitu ni kujiamini. Amini mpaka ikubali. So ensure that you just ensure that even at this point, you are very confident in yourself. Because to be honest, if you do not believe in yourself, how am I supposed to believe in you? Like, trust in yourself to get that job, trust in yourself to even apply for it. By the way, apply for it. It doesn't matter. They have said 2 years experience. I don't have it, but I know I can be able to do it. Why not? Apply for it. See the best way you can sell yourself. Like, confidence is the best way you can. By the way, let me tell you, people who are confident are the ones who even survive in the workplace. Because trust you me, you might be timid, you might be the nerd, you might be the one doing everything. Then there is someone who is just confident. You understand? That's all they are. They can even take away your achievements from you, by the way. So ensure that you showcase yourself. Even at this point, showcase why someone should hire you. And in the case where they hire you, showcase why you deserve that promotion, why you do deserve that next paper. Ensure that you are appraised by your line manager. You understand? Follow for that. Ask ask questions in regards to that. And to be honest, I have suffered from lack of confidence before, truth be told. I know you won't believe, but I think in 2 years ago, I wouldn't even talk to Cyber Shujaa, like I'll be like, I know, I can't do that. But to be honest, confidence is all you need in this world. Um, the next one is a negative attitude. Hey, a negative attitude is the worst thing that you can also have during your career journey, because you tend to become toxic when you have a negative attitude. You tend to become very pessimistic, very negative, very I remember when I was in campus, I did those promotion jobs. I don't even know if you people know those jobs, by the Gen Z. You guys have lived well. So for us, we did those promotion jobs where you go, sijui you go to the supermarket, sijui you're selling what. And I'm telling you, there was this time I used to work with this lady. She used to talk, by the time you meet with her and the time she's done, she has demotivated you because she's talked so ill about what you're doing. Of course, it's hard. I know it's hard. It's not like I do not know, but it should take away from you. So ensure that you even at this point, ensure that you have a very positive attitude. Um you're very calm, you're very friendly. Sometimes even being friendly, by the way, can get you that job. Don't lie to yourself. Or can get you that promotion. Because at times, probably you might notice in the workplace, sometimes people, and even, I don't know if some workplaces do that, but I do know some workplaces, even before they probably put someone as manager, they may ask people around about their how they relate with others, how they are able to do this, are they a people person, what they talk. So hating your job will not help you. If you find yourself hating your job, look for another one then, by the way. So and also at this point, even hating on Cyber Shujaa or saying, I am tired, I can't do this, when you put that negativity, or even hating on just applying jobs, would be a hurdle to you getting a job. Like, just ooze positivity. I think just try to be an optimistic person. I know it's hard. I know there are people, even like myself, I think sometimes I'm more of a realistic than an optimistic person. But just ooze optimism, ooze that. And also, even if you're more of a pessimistic person, don't be a negative person. Because, of course, probably you might be the people who see things on the other side. Yeah, but try as much as you can not to be a calm person, to be someone who I meet and I'm like, but this person I would recommend. Because you see, sometimes even when you're looking for a job, and I've seen this happen even in interviews, um even just the way someone comes in with you can notice when someone has a negative attitude or a bad vibe. At times that just takes you out of the job, because you see, of course, we are looking at different aspects when we are hiring. We are not just looking at your technical skills. We are looking at also how well best you'll be able to suit the organization. And I think at this juncture, I am done with my presentation. And in the case where we have any questions, I'll open it up for that. Thank you. Any questions before we close this up? Any comments? Any? Hi, Terry. You can go ahead.
Hi, Joy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
I'm also fine. Thank you. That was a nice presentation.
Yes, thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How can you say you overcame lack of confidence?
Okay. For me, uh, I had a mentor in Seriano before, by the way. And what she used to do is that um she used to throw me in the sharks. Like she used to probably, as you know, we do consultancy. So what she used to do, by the way, she'd tell me, "Hi, Joy, we are getting into a meeting. So will you can be there to shadow me." Then 5 minutes to the meeting, hi, she does not show up. So you know what? I have to show up. So for me, I learned the hard way, but and also I think that was the best way for me, to be honest. But there are so many ways in which you can gain your confidence. Just believe in yourself, by the way. um just believe that you're the best out there. You understand? Okay, even in applying for a job, what's the worst that will happen is they won't give you the job, and it's fine, but you did your best. When you're going for an interview, what's the worst that will happen? They won't beat you up, by the way. No, you just need to showcase yourself. So I think that's how I was able to overcome. The second way I was able to overcome was through training. As you know, Seriano offers, we do training once in a while, and I think that's the other way I was able to gain my confidence. But also just by having my mentor within Seriano at that point, enabled me to be able to get build my confidence. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Terry.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Any other before we close this up? I know today it has not been a technical sea whip. That's what it's written here. What you can go ahead.
Hi Joy, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking us through this session. I have one question. You talked about burnout in the workplace. So
Yeah.
suppose you're burnt out, and probably the tasks or the job that you're doing in the workplace requires or has time constraints. So how would you approach this situation? Let's say if you are burnt out and you still have impending work that needs to meet deadlines.
Okay. I think I'll answer with how I've been able to manage this. I think the last year sometime I had a lot of burnout, and also I remember in my role at that time, uh a lot of people were not there, so I was the only one who was holding fort there. And so it was a really it was really hard. First of all, I am at this place where my job has time constraints. The second of all, I don't know who to hand it over to. But I remember talking to my line manager about it, and also, my boss. And I talked to him, and I was like, by the way, I'm suffering from a lot of burnout. It was so bad. I remember there was a time I cried, and I'm not lying, like I cried because of the work I had. And I just communicated, and I was like, hey, by the way, you know what? If I continue like this, I won't be able to perform. And burnout is real. You can even take 2 days off, finish your tasks at that time, then request for probably a week or two. Because I realized, for me, if whenever I take the 2 weeks off or a 1 week, I come out as a new person. So find ways in which you can communicate well with the online manager. And also, I don't know about your work environment. Is there any other person who can do what you do? Are you within a team? If so, find someone or hand over to someone else your responsibilities and just request for off. I know probably there are organizations that would require 2 or 3 days notice for you to hand over your leave, and also talk to also HR, human resource, on the same, and just say you are not probably in the best mental, and yani you're not able to deliver your work well, because if you continue doing that, you will also not produce the best results. So find ways in which you can talk to your line manager, find ways in which you can ensure that if you're within a team, you can hand over to someone else, and also find ways in which also you can have a conversation with human resource. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I think that is it for Mulwa. You can go ahead.
Hey,
Hi.
what would your advice be to someone who seems to bore easily?
Would someone who seems
Like to get bored easily. So, for
to get
example,
bored easily. I do
yes,
understand.
yes, like for example, you're doing a pen test and
Yeah.
it's really exciting at the start, but then over time you're like bored.
It happens. I think it's personality, and funny enough, by the way, that personality. So that is why you need to think about ways in which, and probably for such a person, consultancy works best, because you see, at the end of the day, you can end up now doing other, what is it called, other tasks around that. But for me, let me talk about how I've been able to manage just boredom in my workplace. Um, First of all, I've been able to think about new things. Like, I think last year there was the whole data protection thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be those people who will get into this data protection and privacy thing. So it became a thing for me, and I was able to, and right now I'm excited by that. Right now I'm very, very excited about it. I don't know if 3 years or 1 year down the line I'll be excited about it, but I'm excited about it, and I'm going and I'm finding ways in which I can work through that. The other thing is that I think for Seriano, they and especially for my role, I've been able to do a lot of things. As you've seen, I do also cyber Shujaa, so these other aspects. So there are other ways in which I've been able to manage boredom with things that I've done so much, and now new things that I get to experience, because at the end of the day, probably your key responsibilities would still be the same. But I think for someone who gets bored easily, look for consultancy roles as you go forward. I think that's the best way for you. But even if you are within your organization, have a talk with the organization on other small things that you can do that are not really related, that are related within the ICT or within the cybersecurity industry. I've seen people who come to Seriano and they do SOC for some time, and after some time they're like, I can't do monitoring anymore. Now it's time for me to do risk, or it's time for me to do forensics. Also, as you do that, what you can leverage on is getting certifications on such things now, then using that to switch or better yourself within that. I don't know if that answers the question. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Thanks.
Okay. I think that's it. We are 2 minutes to 8. I think today we finished quite early. Thank you so much for joining. And also, I hope that this has been an educative session for you, so that you do not make the same mistakes I did, so that you are more aware of yourself. My advice to each and every one of you is to do the 16 personality test. Kindly do it. It even gives you an overview of who you are. Like, it gives you a holistic view of who you are as a person, how you even relate in the workplace. Like, it gives you, and trust you me, it's usually real. Like, who you are there, it's true. Some of you think you're extroverts, and shock on you, you might be an introvert. So do the 16 personality test, and also just try as much as you can at this point in your life to think where you want to go, and just look for your passion and work on it. Thank you, and see you next week.